Was there an actual anime named Sonny Boy, or was that whole show just me tripping acid somehow? On one regular day in mundane life, an entire school building is sent adrift in a pocket dimension along with 36 students. While waiting for things to go back to normal, they realize that they all have different superpowers, which creates tension and chaos among them. Eventually, they decide to stop waiting around and start searching for their way back to where they came from. Now, if you have never watched this anime before and you listened to my summary and thought, now I have a general idea of what it's about, no, you do not. The only thing you really need to understand is it's a metaphor. Now, there are two main extremely different opinions on this anime. One side thinks that this is way too deep for them. It's just overly complicated artsy madness with a meaning buried so deep even Simon couldn't find it. And the other side thinks this is a very simple and straightforward masterpiece. And I'm kind of in the middle on this. I think this show was really well done and creative, but at the same time I think you should not be allowed to call a multi-dimensional story operating on different timelines with different versions of people simple. It is not simple. It is a metaphor. And I keep saying this because it's the answer for everything. Tons of strange things happen in this show. You're gonna have tons of questions. Sometimes the answer is apparent, sometimes it's not, all times metaphor. Just as an example, two guys are talking to each other. One asks how a third guy they know is doing, and he answers, he turned into a tree. And he responds with basically, good for him. What? At its core, Sonny Boy is about the difficulties of growing up and going into the working world. Each episode showcases a different example of said difficulty in its own special way. In a way, it's similar to Fooly Cooly, except not at all, but they do have very similar messages and utilize similar techniques to convey the message. But you can watch Fooly Cooly without understanding the message and still have a great time. But if you don't understand the message Sonny Boy is trying to convey, then the whole thing is just bullshit and a giant waste of time. So it's really one of those animes that you have to pay attention to, close attention. Sonny Boy uses different art styles and animation styles, and it does so in a masterful way. I wouldn't call the characters one tone, but maybe one state, because most of them are just sick of the situation they find themselves in, and they're always in that situation, so that's the only side of them you really see. Except for one girl, whose personality is a combination of sunshine and glitter. But in the end, Sonny Boy is a metaphor.